Hey y'all, welcome to an episode of the Muddy Crow Yarncast, where we talk about all good things yarn. So today I've got some new yarn to show you, and I've got some projects to show you, and I've got some gifted yarn to show you, and I'm just excited to dig in. So let's start with some of the new yarn that's up in the shop. I have some skeins of the Hawaiian sundress colorway. I wanted to do something bright and happy and out of my norm. I don't usually do bright colors, but I knew I wanted to do something that was just super happy, and this is what I got. So it's like hibiscus pink and ocean turquoise, and then in a few little spots there's just a little hint of beach sand poking out there, and they just turned out so lovely. It's a 100-gram hank of superwash wool and nylon blend. It's sock yarn. It's fingering weight. That's everything that I've got in the shop right now is fingering weight. There you can see that sandy little flecks in there. So I've got a few of those. They're actually on sale right now, so hop out to my website, which I will link in the comments, and take a look at that. And then I've got a hank of, it's an outlier, and it's another one of those. I saved a skein just for the express purpose of throwing in my odd little dribbles and drops of dye so that nothing gets wasted. And it just picked up all these beautiful little pops of color. I still had some gray left from my Over the Rainbow series, so I threw some of that in there. And it's got pastel colors and bright pops of happy colors. So there's only one of these. There's only ever going to be one that looks like this. See that pretty gray? Got some pink and some turquoise popping through. And then inside, I'll just show a hint of bright happiness as you knit it up. This one's on the website too. Now I have some knitting to show you. I've been knitting on my Kansas socks from my Over the Rainbow colorway. I still have to graft the toes, but look at these. They just turned out exactly as I had pictured in my mind, which is always so satisfying. You've got the idea of blue gingham and ruby red slippers. This is just a vanilla sock pattern with a French heel. You just do a little heel turn, and then you've got the gusset stitches that you decrease along there. I did a 2x2 rib cuff. I did 2 at a time on circular needles. You can kind of see there where I need to graft them closed. And this colorway is sold out. I don't have any more of the Kansas colorway at this time. But that's what it looks like when it's knitted up. It gives you an idea of what the speckled yarns will do for you. And then I have a project that I've returned to that I started ages ago, and it is the Rye Light socks that I'm knitting for my daughter. You might remember I did the mitts in the same colorway, and then I just needed to take a break from the same colorway for a while and knit something else. So I've gotten through I didn't do the pattern heel. I just really liked the French heel. Gives you that wedge look right there. But I love the way the French heel cups around the heel of your foot. I just think it gives a really nice fit, and it's easy to knit. It's easy to knit when you've got 2 socks on one circular needle. And I get questions, how do I do that 2 at a time on circular needles? I just let one sock dangle while I work the heel flat on one. I do the turn, do the heel turn, and then I go to the next one and I let this one dangle while I knit the heel flap and then turn the heel. And then once you're done, you just pick up the stitches along the sides of that flat heel flap and begin your gussets in the round, which is what I have just begun doing. I haven't even started my first decrease on the gusset yet. So I've knit the flap, I've turned the heel, and I've picked up my gusset stitches, and now I'm ready to start decreasing. This was my car ride knitting yesterday. I love it when my husband drives so that I can knit. So I got a lot of work done on these, and I'm anxious to get them off the needles because I have a couple of gift knitting projects that I want to get cast on. I've got 2 pairs of thank you socks that I'm getting ready to cast on. One is extra special and very meaningful, and I can't wait to share that with you later. And the other one is going to be extra fun and spunky, just like the person that they are going to be going to, and they are going to be scrappy socks, like Joseph and his multicolor coat. So I'll be excited to show those to you as well, and those ones I'll be able to show you as I go. And then what I've got going, so I was gifted some yarn and some spinning wool and all sorts of stuff this week, and this was in it. Oh, there goes my wheel. Huh. So it is an entire sweater quantity of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. It's just the base yarn. It's Peruvian Highland wool, 110 yards per skein. And I am going to take this out of the skein, hank it up, and I'm gonna dye it, and I'm gonna do some selfish knitting with this. I'm thinking a sweater, or maybe a sweater vest, a camisole maybe, something in stockinette, because I think stockinette shows off the variegated dye so well, and I really want the dye to shine and not the knit to shine. So that is what I'm working on with that. And then I've got, in that there were 2 of these. There goes the wheel again. It doesn't like me leaning on it like that. So this is, it's Village Yarns Tradition brand. It's all acrylic yarn, and it's 122 yards. Gauge would be 18 stitches for 4 inches on US 7. And so I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this yet, because I've got 2 of these in here, and I'm kind of thinking about maybe seeing if I might be able to dye the acrylic using like RIT dye or something. I don't know yet. I may just knit it as it is, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to add some maybe speckling to it and do a tweed look or something like that. So that's what I've got going on in that regard. I did pick up some project bags, some canvas project bags. They've got a handy little zipper, perfect for a pair of socks. And I think I showed you guys a picture of my t-shirt with the Muddy Crow logo. I'll try to put a picture in here somewhere. But I've got all the stuff. I'm going to put my logo on these bags. There's several bags. There's a tiny little one, and then all the rest are fun colors and perfect size for some small project knitting. And I think I'll put my little Muddy Crow on it, and maybe some of them will wind up in the shop. And then I did start a new long-term knitting project, and I think I've posted some pictures of getting started on it. And it's inspired by the, I've totally blanked on the name of the sweater now. Sea glass, the sea glass sweater. So it's just Hobby Lobby acrylic yarn in a variety of colorways, and the idea is just to be hit and miss, no rhyme or reason. Each round is 2 colors, and then the next round is another 2 colors. I do try to take care so that I'm not getting, you know, each round has a light and a dark. Each round is different from the round before it in some way. I'm bouncing this. Sorry, let me move my table. So it's just Hobby Lobby yarn, Yarn Bee acrylic yarn. And this is I'm only using this for the cuff and for the collar and the edging. And this is actually going to be a camisole because I'm hot all the time and I don't really want to, I don't want a whole sweater. I need to layer so that I can shed layers. So this is 200 yards. And then I had picked up a variety of these 3-packs. It's kind of fingering weight yarn, and there's 12 of them. Let me see if I can turn this so that you can see my mess. And that's what I'm using for the sea glass stranded work. So I'm pretty excited about it. This is definitely a long-term project. It is not something like maybe I'll be able to wear it next winter. It's just something in between projects, but I'm getting into gift knitting season, so this will probably take a back seat. But I'm just so pleased with the way that that turns out. And if you're a knitter and you love stranded work, I would highly encourage you to purchase and download the sea glass pattern and knit it, or maybe even do it as like a cowl or a scarf, something like that, because it's just so rewarding to knit it and satisfying. And you probably spend more time stopping to pet your knitting than you do actually knitting. Maybe, I don't know. That could just be me. But that's what I've got going on in the knitting world right now. I've got heaps of yarn that I'm excited to have it on the shop. I've got tons of knitting, and I'm not at all sorry about it. I hope you guys have a fabulous and yarny week. I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.